what's up guys, Natt here, and I wanted to answer the most asked question I get, which is, how do you do the girl voice? If you're unfamiliar with me, I've been doing this voice for quite a long time. Now, I created a video in the past where it really only took me less than an hour to make, and it definitely wasn't my best work. Yeah. So I actually wanted to create a tutorial that was actually useful. So I called upon twitter/x.com and asked for people wanting to learn the girl voice. I chose 3 different people and I had several conversations with them over about 3 weeks, and I helped them with whatever they were struggling with girl voice wise. Through this little program I made, I was able to deduct what helps people the most with learning the voice. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the best ways to learn this voice, as well as give you a solid practice routine so you can keep working on this voice after the video is done. In order to do this voice, you need to be prepared physically, and that includes hydration, stretching, and some vocal work. All of this is key in being able to push your vocal range and try new limits to your voice. Even voice actors use these techniques to be able to speak clearly and prepare themselves. So first, have some water. This helps with voice cracking and making sure you don't sound flat. Next, some stretching helps out a ton with loosening up your body and opening up your air passage. And to finish off the prep stage, we'll be doing some vocal warm-ups to help you hit those higher notes. All right guys, so the first movement that we're gonna do is the shoulders to ears, which is just tensing up your shoulders to your ears and dropping it. And I recommend doing that about 5 times. Next, we're gonna do some head rolls. So you do counterclockwise and clockwise or vice versa, and do that for about 10 seconds each rotation. All right, and then the next movement hopefully is gonna stretch out your back and maybe your upper chest a little bit. So hands to the ceiling for me, just opening up your chest a little bit more. Just kind of getting used to that feeling of opening up. All right, so once your hands are to the ceiling, just moving over to the right, move over to the side. You're gonna feel the stretch on the side here. Hold that for a few seconds. Once you feel good there, then put your hands up to the ceiling again, then move to the other side. You feel it on the other side, stretch, and then back up to the top, and then relax. Now there are more exercises that you can do. Don't let me stop you from that. Get as loose as you need to be. However, if you're gonna do a minimal amount, I recommend doing 3 to 4 exercises. Right, so the first vocal warm-up that I do is the bubbles/humming from high to low and low to high. So to start this off, you start low, and then you go up to high. And you go from high back to low. And you do that a few different times to kind of get your voice comfortable to hitting those types of pitches smoothly. So just to go over again, it's and you're noticing that you're hitting that head voice a lot more. Just try to grab onto that type of pitch range because you're gonna be using that a lot. The other version of doing that is the humming, so it's the I know it's really strange, trust me, I know, but it's gonna help you learn the voice as quick as possible. There's other ways of kind of reaching that kind of pitch range, which is, you know, probably singing one of your favorite songs. I like to go straight to Billie Eilish as far as getting that range because she goes from very low pitches to very high pitches very smoothly, and it's a great way to kind of warm up your voice. So if you like singing songs, I would recommend Billie Eilish. So the next thing that we're gonna do is the tongue twisters, and the tongue twisters are gonna essentially be helping us enunciate certain words that we need to pronounce very smoothly. I'll have a list of tongue twisters in the description below. However, I'll go over a couple right now. So the first one is "She sells seashells by the seashore." And I would repeat that around 4 to 5 times, depending on how comfortable you are with saying that sentence, and move on to the next one. Now, my personal favorite tongue twister is "9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts." And I would repeat that as many times as you want. It's very fun to say. So yeah, just get used to pronouncing those words. In order to set up the voice, we need a base template. The feminine accent is something that some people will find easier than others. However, it just takes practice to master. I personally refer to Mean Girls as I did in my first video. They have like classic Valley Girl voices, as well as, you know, they're a lot of fun to mock. In the description, I have different lines you can repeat and practice. Only focus on doing the accent until you have it mastered. If you try mixing everything all together at once, it's only gonna be more confusing than it needs to be. Right, so my first and favorite line that a lot of people use on a daily basis is, "Hi, how are you?" Notice how I'm kind of making the words a lot softer and I'm extending the last word slightly. And another example would be, "Oh my God, Brian, I hate you." Notice how at the very end of the sentence, I extend the word and I basically pronounce each letter as if it's, you know, passionate. Again, some people are gonna have an easier time with kind of doing a line demonstration with accents than other people, so just take your time with it, don't rush. Another thing I like to practice is the emphasis words. So you'll notice that back in my Omegle days, I used to practice these little words where I'd be like, "Hi, hello, cool." But with this, it's gonna be the same thing, but you're just working on the accent right now. And we're gonna come back to all these lines when you're working on the breathiness and the pitch as well. So just keep that in mind. So for example, it's, "Hi, hello, cool, fantastic." I'm really sharpening the very start of it and I'm extending the very last of it. It's gonna take some getting used to. I recommend repeating the lines multiple times for each step of this tutorial just to kind of get used to each part of it. And then at the very end, we're gonna mix it all together. So just practice each individual part separately. That's really important. Just keep in mind, we will be coming back to these lines later, so keep them open. I recommend this step especially for those who have a tough time reaching a higher pitch. Breathiness isn't exactly required. However, it does make things a little bit easier as far as learning goes. Right, so for breathiness, this is gonna help you a lot, especially especially if you have a deeper voice. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that this is gonna be a little bit uncomfortable because this is kind of deemed as like the sexual voice. So just stick with me. All right, so back to the lines, which are also in the description, just to let you know. So the first one is, hi, how are you? So instead of, hi, how are you? We're gonna make it a lot more breathy. We're gonna extend the words a lot more. So, hi, how are you? So just pretend like you're sighing the entire time you're speaking. Or for this one, it's, that is so weird. Essentially, you're extending the words a lot and making the lines a lot more sensual. So it goes from, my name is Natt, what is yours? It goes from that to, my name is Natt, what is yours? So it's kind of easier. You're kind of speaking a lot more breathy, and there's certain voices that it kind of clicks a lot easier with. So it's not necessarily required to do the breathiness. However, it does help a lot of people. Again, I recommend trying each step separately. So trying the accent separate from the breathiness and then trying them together helps out a lot. You know, it's just gonna help you learn it a lot faster. Don't rush yourself. Just take the time with this. This is a very hard voice to do, especially for those people that don't do a lot of voice training. Don't give yourself such a hard time, but repeat, practice, do whatever it takes, and you'll keep going. Unless you're a singer or some kind of voice artist, pitch will probably be the hardest thing about learning this voice. This part of the voice will need the most practice because of the fact that it uses falsetto and a lot of head voice. And staying up in those falsetto and high notes can be really hard to maintain without consistent practice. So we're going back to the lines once again, as well as the vocal warm-ups. I highly recommend using the bubbles/humming to help you reach the range that you need to get to. So first, we have to access that range. So back to the vocal warm-ups, the bubbles. And you're gonna try to stick that kind of upper notch of that head voice. Once again, it's.
Notice how, like, up here, it's you're kind of pushing it back in the back of your head in a little bit of a way. Like you sound like Mickey Mouse in a way. Cool, great. Well, great. I am way up here with my voice.
But yeah, you get the idea. You're kind of hitting the back of your throat as well as getting that kind of head voice. So let's try a couple lines with that head voice.
Hi, how are you? Oh my God, Brian, I hate you. That is so weird. Cool, great, awesome. I hate you. My name is Natt. What is yours?
So I already kind of mix in the feminine voice into that as well, but that's because I've been doing it for so long. It's very hard for me to kind of disassociate myself from that. But just keep trying to practice those lines with that head voice. And over time, when you kind of get used to the head voice, you'll kind of tone it down into a more natural sounding sound.
And it will kind of go lower. So it'll start way up here and it'll go way down to here. And you'll start talking more like out of the bottom of your throat in a way.
Now this is the final step, and I recommend practicing each individual thing before trying to mix it all together. Right, so finally we're gonna go back to the lines once again. And now we're gonna try to mix every single thing together one at a time. So the first thing that we're gonna do is try to mix in the accent with the breathiness. So once again, we're gonna be doing accent and breathiness. We're gonna be doing the,
oh my God, that's crazy, cool, fantastic.
And we're gonna mix it in with the cool, great, fantastic, cool, like your anime protagonist. So you're mixing that together. You're essentially making it the feminine version of the breathiness voice. So for example, it's, hi, how are you? I'm extending the word at the very end of it. It's all about kind of learning how the accent works and kind of applying the breathiness to it as well, making it a lot more anime protagonist sounding. So the next thing would be,
that is so weird.
Or,
I am so done with you.
You're basically making it a lot more kind of edgy sounding, like you're depressed. That's the best way to describe it in my personal opinion. You can try it in any way possible you'd like, but I recommend trying it in that kind of tone, which is just kind of depressing sounding, just kind of a monotone voice. And then once you have the breathiness and the accent mixed together, this is the hardest part, which is mixing in the pitch with both of those combined. And sometimes all you need is the accent and the breathiness. However, some people like to throw a little bit of pitch in there just to kind of give it that extra feminine oomph. So for example, it goes from,
hi, how are you?
To,
hi, how are you?
It's that little slight pitch, and you'll notice that whenever you kind of add that little pitch range into it, and it makes it a lot more feminine sounding. So again, it's going from,
that is so weird,
into,
that is so weird.
And it's gonna take a lot of practice to kind of mix it all together. Just take your time with it. Just please practice just mixing each individual thing with each other. Maybe even try mixing in just the breathiness with the pitch.
Cool, great, awesome.
Or something like that. Just try to mix everything together in your own time. Don't try to do it all at once. Otherwise, you're gonna get pissed off. I tried doing it all at once a long time ago. It never worked out. It takes practice. I've been doing this for 11 years now. Just put that in perspective. Just know that I believe in you. I know you can do it. Just keep going, keep working at it. It will work, I promise you. Now that I've taught you as much as I can through a video, it just comes down to practice. For the rest of this video, I'm gonna be showing some recorded sessions that might help anyone looking for extra tips or is just interested in how I guided these sessions. This video took a lot of effort from everyone involved, including the editor. And I just wanna say thank you so much for watching today's video, as well as everyone that participated in the making of this video. I just wanna mention that everyone's socials from today's sessions will be in the description below, and I'll also link some resources that might help you on your journey to learning this voice. Besides that, I hope I helped at least a little bit. If you have any extra questions, I'll be replying to comments in the comment section below. Besides that, guys, I hope you have a great night, day, or wherever you're from. What is your name and what are your pronouns?
My name is Dawn. I go by she, her.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a transgender woman who has been transitioning socially for 2.5 years and medically for a year. My biggest insecurity or dysphoric moment comes from my voice.
Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask about the voice, but it seems like that's what you're trying to learn it for.
Gotcha.
First method is trying to access that anime character vibe. So whenever you're trying to do an impression of a dub anime character, a dub anime protagonist. Yeah, like Deku. That's the first person I think of when I think of breathiness. It's gonna sound really strange, I promise, but I'm not gonna judge you. Just say, "Hi, I'm Deku." It sounds goofy, but this is like the most fun way of learning it. Besides just say, "Hey, talk breathy."
Hi, I'm Deku.
Wait, you're already on the way. So you're kind of getting that breathiness down. So you're noticing how you're extending your words a lot more. You're kind of using a lot more of your head to chest voice. So you're talking way up here. You're trying to access that, and then we're gonna mix that in. And I want you to sound as breathy as possible now, without doing all the cringe anime thing.
Hi, how are you?
There you go. So you're doing that breathiness. You're getting there. What you want to do is you're going to mix the breathiness in with the feminine accent. Just be like, "Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid."
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
There you go. Now it's about adding the little bit of a vocal pitch. So when we were doing the so you notice how when you're going up into that head voice, you're closing off your throat a little bit more maybe, and you're trying to access that, I call it the Mickey Mouse sounding voice. Let's try doing the breathiness with your natural voice, but adding a little bit more of a higher pitch to it.
Oh my God, Brian, I hate you.
There you go. So it's about getting that kind of the pitch in.
So the thing that comes
like that type of thing. There you go. So no. So you got it. So you're trying to get, so you got that kind of the higher pitch in your head. So try to mix that. So it's like,
oh my God.
You know what I mean? So you're trying to get that into,
Oh my God.
when you talk, try to tilt your head up a little bit and also smile a little bit. That's my best advice.
Oh my God, Brian, you're such a whore.
There you go. So the main thing is the impression. So it's the feminine sounding voice, which you already kind of have. It's about kind of accessing that different Valley Girl kind of voice is what I always go to, but you don't necessarily have to do a Valley Girl voice to do a girl voice. Whenever I talk, I'm like, "Oh my God, so there's a lot of fluctuation. So it's Brian, and you're slowing it down. There's different, it's fluctuating as far as the sentence goes. So try doing that sentence.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
There you go. So try squeezing the back of your throat.
So it's you're talking way up here. Cool.
So just try doing this first. So I know it sounds strange.
Cool.
Notice how you're squeezing your the back of your throat a little bit. So try doing that, but applying that into the feminine sounding Valley Girl line.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
There you go. You're actually getting there. The point is to make it higher and then come down to a natural voice. Even if it's super high, then you can still bring it down to a natural kind of tone. That's what happened with me. I start off super high.
One more time.
Okay, go for it.
Oh my God, Brian.
It's a little bit too high. You can even exaggerate it. That was good. You can keep going with that. Just as long as you get that higher pitch down, then you can kind of tone it down a little bit more.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
I think you're talking a little bit too fast. So try slowing down that sense a little bit more. So try to fluctuate.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
There you go. That's good. That was actually really good. So the reason I bring out the breathiness a lot is because you're not using so much of your chest voice, using a lot more of the,
"Oh my God."
That's the easiest way to teach you, because the fact that you're accessing the tempo, the pace, as well as the fluctuation. And it's also better when it sounds a little bit deeper, because a lot of people struggle with kind of hitting that higher range. So with breathier, deeper voices, it sounds more natural. Yeah, let's head back to breathiness. Let's try doing that. Just be like, "I hate Natt so much," in the breathiness voice.
"I hate Natt so much."
I hate Natt so much.
There you go.
I'm like huffing and puffing it.
Yeah. You try to keep a consistent flow of oxygen, essentially.
I hate Natt so much.
There you go. That's good. That's actually really good. So we're gonna go from that kind of breathiness, and then we're gonna mix in a little bit more of a slight higher pitched twang. So it goes from, oh my god, like I hate Natt so much, into, oh my god, I hate Natt so much. So you notice how like there's certain words that kind of go higher. Yeah. So you're trying to add that twang to it.
Oh my god. I hate Natt so much.
Honestly, you're getting really close. It sounds really good already. Just try, hi, how are you? So, but let's just do it pretty breathy. Let's do it pretty breathy. Don't even worry about pitch right now. Just try to get that natural breath and the feminine accent in there. It's like, hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
There you go. You're putting a lot of like emphasis into the you. So like there's kind of a bridge there with like the how are and then you. Add a slightly more breath. So like, hi, how are you? Exhaust your voice basically, like you're sighing the entire time.
Hi, how are you?
There you go. That's good. Add a slight pitch to it. So not even like a full pitch, but like, hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
So you notice how you're squeezing your voice a little bit more? That's what we're kind of looking for as far as like that voice. And then once we kind of squeeze our voice more and we get used to that kind of natural squeeze, then we're going to get into more of like a natural sounding tone. We're going to try doing that again. So, hi, how are you?
Hi, how? That hi sounds weird.
Imagine like it's H-A-I type of deal. Try saying hi again. So like, hi.
Hi.
There you go.
Hi.
Notice how
Hi,
you're going
hi.
up there. Hi. So you're squeezing your throat a lot more with the H-A-I. It tightens up a lot more.
Hi.
So again, we're doing hi. It peaks at the very start because that's the whole sentence. It's like the hi exclamation point and then how are, and then that's the bridge, and then the finishing point is you.
Hi, how are you?
So again, try to emphasize each word, slow it down a little bit, make more a little bit. Yeah, slow it down, make it a little bit more breathy. Focus on like basically the peak and the bridge and the peak again. And the extension.
That is so weird.
There you go. What you're trying to get is that kind of like that moaning sound, not like moaning, but like more breath out of it, if that makes sense.
That is so weird.
That's good. Overemphasize it. That's the main point. Do it one more time, but slow it down even more. Even if it doesn't sound too natural, just try it again.
That is so weird.
That's good. And once you kind of emphasize the words more when you slow down, then you can speed it up and get those words in. It's all about kind of adding that breathiness in there, slowing it down a little bit, kind of learning about each of the words that you're saying. And then once you kind of pick up on certain words, then other words will come really naturally. Let's just try to add like a slight pitch to it. So we're doing cool, great.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a whole different pitch. So you're going to be voice cracking a little bit.
Cool. Great. Awesome. I hate you. Fuck you.
That's good. That was really fucking good, actually. So you try to use as much head voice as you possibly can.
Is that like your highest possible pitch, or like are you trying to do like your highest possible?
For you,
or
yeah,
like,
you should be aiming for the highest possible pitch.
Okay.
What we're trying to get at is that the squeeze at the back of the throat. And once we squeeze the back of the throat and you kind of tilt your head up a little bit, open up your passageway a little bit more, it's like,
Cool. Great. Awesome.
Cool.
Like,
great. Awesome.
that's great. That's great. Okay, now try doing that with the hi, how are you line.
Hi, how are you?
That's really good. That's really good.
I have to like get into like customer service voice, like
Literally, that's what you're doing. You're acting. That's entirely what this is. You're acting right now, but once you kind of do it so often, you kind of understand that it'll come more naturally. So like when I first started, it was like super, super high pitched, but over time it became more and more natural voice to me. Let's do my name is blank, what is yours? So you can do my name is Dawn, what is yours, or whatever you want to say for that.
my name is Dawn. What is yours?
That's
That's
good.
how I would say it, like in real life.
Squeeze the back of your throat. Try to get that down. Extend the words.
My name is Dawn. What is yours? But like more breathier, more.
Yeah, so the thing with like breath and stuff like that is that you're using a lot more breath, so you're using a lot more of like your chest, but with the pitchy voice, you're gonna want to use a lot more your head voice, so you're gonna have to blend it together. So let's just try it with the breathiness for now. So like,
My name is Natt. What is yours?
My name is Dawn. What is yours?
there you go. So it sounds like unnatural, but we're trying to get to there. And then let's just try mixing in the pitch into it.
My name is Dawn. What is yours?
Try to do a little bit more pitch, even if you have to like squeeze the back of your throat. Like,
Way up here. Cool.
My name is Dawn. What is yours?
I like that. I like that.
Would it help if I like, do you think if I just keep like humming and singing that note, like I can speak in that note?
100%.
Or is
So
that like a
the more you
like
the more you practice that note and kind of make it more natural sounding. So whatever helps you learn. So if it's the notes, what helped me was like kind of just copying people. So that's just what helps me. But for you, it might be I feel like you're more musically inclined. If you have any sort of instrument next to you, just like play the note, and then after that, get into like kind of copying that. So like the do re mi, whatever you want to do, whatever helps you get into that range is what's gonna be the best for you. You don't even have to like speak into it. You just have to kind of be able to hit that note, and then once you're able to hit that note, then you can like work on like trying to talk with it.
I try like saying each note like gradually as I go up the scale.
Yeah, 100%. And then like go as high as you can, and then just keep doing that, and then eventually you'll kind of realize like what it takes to hit that kind of note, like what happens in your like your mouth or your body to kind of be able to hit that note. And then once you're able to do that, then we can start talking about how to actually talk in that note. What are the tools that I gave you that helped you the most as far as like helping you learn the voice? Like what things helped you the most?
Some things that helped me a lot was like imitating different characters, especially like watching the Mean Girls clips, going back and trying to like having a reference to something I can mimic, having something that I can mimic and model after was really helpful for me. It really like gave me a goal to work towards, and also like I can compare it to my current voice.
What was like the toughest parts that you came across as far as learning the voice?
Some difficulties that I faced were one like a mental barrier, and also like being able to like mimic the voice in the first place, because once I figured out like the target voice, I had to figure out how my body would be able to change into that, like my voice would have to be altered. So it was kind of difficult for me to navigate myself through that. Like I knew exactly like what voice I wanted. It was more of figuring out how I can actually achieve that voice.
And would you say any of the tools that I gave you helped at all, or did you think that it was more just kind of your own research on stuff?
The tools definitely helped, but I will say like I had prior knowledge, but it was like recognizing like my main issues such as like pitch was really helpful, because that was something that I wasn't entirely like aware of. So finding like having you as my coach really helped identify my core problems, and then I'm able to use my previous knowledge to combat those issues.
Do you have any words of advice to just people watching as far as like helping them on their journey? Like what kind of stuff would you like to tell them?
Consistency is key. Just making sure you're always like practicing, even if it's hard. My biggest advice is to just keep like working little at a time. Like even if it's just like 10 to 15 minutes every day, just kind of slowly getting into it, and then it becomes more of a habit. Because the more you do it, the easier it'll get.
Is there anything you'd like to shout out? This is your chance to give your shout out to your socials.
Dawnmoer on Twitter. That's the only social I use, so.
So what is your name and what are your pronouns?
Hello, my name is Millie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a trans woman.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am a semi-professional Valorant player in the Game Changers scene. I'm 20, about to be 21. I just be gaming.
What is your reason for wanting to learn the girl/feminine voice?
Just to pass better. I feel like my voice, like I've worked on it a little bit, but not enough.
I'm gonna warn you, this is gonna take a little bit of getting out of your comfort zone. When we're accessing that head voice, there's gonna be a lot of times we're gonna have to go from like you're gonna have to go to different ranges of your voice. So as you know, my girl voice is more like valley girlish. It's more like kind of preppy girl, yada yada yada. So it's a lot more like, oh my god, Brittany. Like we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Let's start off with the line. So there's one thing about these sessions, we hate Brian. There's this guy called Brian. He doesn't exist, but we hate Brian.
I despise Brian.
We despise Brian. So this is the line what we're gonna do is like, oh my god, Brian, I hate you. So you're gonna do that in a feminine accent and just try to, you already have kind of a feminine voice. So just try to do that line. So just do kind of a Valley Girl accent and lead into that sentence.
Oh my god, Brian, I hate you.
And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to do that with a little bit more breathiness. The reason I say breathiness is because you don't have to go as high with stuff, and that's like it sounds more natural compared to if you were trying to peak your voice up a ton. We're gonna do the same line. So, oh my god, Brian, I hate you. So you're gonna try to breathe out a lot more, like exhale a lot more when you're saying that sentence.
Oh my god, Brian, I hate you.
Beautiful. That was actually really good. You're actually getting there. So you notice how your voice is a lot smoother whenever you do breathiness. So whenever there's certain female, and like there's different female impressions, but whenever you're doing like a feminine impression, some of your natural voice is going to leak into whatever impression you're doing, and that goes for any impression that you do. It doesn't have to be just feminine voice. It can be, I don't know, Christopher Walken or freaking Miley Cyrus, whatever you want. The whole idea is that some of your natural voice is going to peak, or natural kind of tone is going to go into that voice. So the breathiness is helpful. So I want you to do that same type of thing where it's the feminine accent with the breathiness, but make it a little bit more higher. So this time I'm going to do an example. So this time before it was like, oh my God, Brian, I hate you. So this time you're going to bring it up a little bit more. Oh my God, Brian, I hate you. So it's a little bit higher with the peaks. So it's a little bit more fluctuation, but it's a little bit lower in the dips, if that makes sense.
Oh my God, Brian, I hate you.
That's pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna say, hello, my name is Millie. Don't try to overdo it with like the pitch. Just try to get a little bit of pitch in there, because if you do too much pitch, then it sounds like you're, I don't know, some kind of tadpole anime character.
Hello, my name is Millie.
So you're doing the feminine accent, so try to do it with more breath. So this time it's like, hello, my name is Millie.
Hello, my name is Millie.
There you go. You're getting there. So now we're going to throw in a little bit more pitch.
Hello, my name is Millie. I don't.
No, you're good. You're doing good. You're doing good. So this one, it takes a little bit of acting, because the fact that you're trying to act is like, imagine like a Mean Girls character. They're very fake. They're entirely fake. So you're going to try.
I hate you.
Oh, like, no, literally. Yeah. That was actually good. One thing that does help me is like at the very start, I told you to tilt your head up to open up that passageway. So you tilt your head up. And then another thing that helps me is a slight smile, like not a deranged smile, but like.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, because people, sorry for like cutting in.
No, you're good.
People will be like, if you go like that, that's kind of how you do it, and you're like opening the sides of your mouth more.
Yeah.
So it's like you just want like less air, because
Yeah.
natural like born males, I guess, they speak more with their chest and like with more air through their passageway, like it's like wider.
Yeah, so it's that kind of technique. And when I first started doing the girl voice and everything, my voice was super high pitched, and whenever I talked, I would like, it looked like I was a giraffe, because I was sticking my chin out so much and I was smiling. Like I looked a little weird. Try to do that. So extend your chin, so where it's like I don't know what kind of microphone you have, but extend your chin a little
Shure
bit.
SM7B.
Okay, so it's the same as me. So yeah, extend your chin to where it's kind of hovering over the top of the mic, and then smile a little bit. You can do the drills like get that kind of tightness in the back of the throat, and then try to speak out of the back of your throat is the best way I can tell.
Speak out of the back of my throat?
Yeah, so like lean back here, cool, like great.
Like back here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You already have like a really softer voice, so it's just about kind of bringing up a little bit more. You actually are already getting there, so it's just a matter of practice and trying to get up to
Like
that
a little
range.
bit more?
Yeah, that's good. So it's like feminine accents, especially with like the accent that I'm trying to teach you. They're very like, you know, they peak a lot and they're not super smooth. They're not monotone. So with
yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Oh yeah. So like whenever you hear my girl voice, like
It's way up here, like fantastic. It's a lot more energetic. It's a lot more stuff like that.
but the voice I'm trying to teach you is
Like way down here. And it's not as like high pitch. It's more just like smoother, but it's also like a lot more breathy.
A lot more breathy. I can't.
so like say E, but then like imagine there's say E and then imagine there's an H at the end of it. So
Yeah.
E.
Yeah. That's so weird to try
yeah,
to do.
yeah. It's a vocal thing. Yeah. Like pretend like you're so done with all their bullshit. Like E.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
take
That's
more
better. That's
breathy
better than the higher one. Try that, but a little bit less disgust.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
E.
Yeah. I guess it's so weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So that's one thing I'll have you work on is kind of like that creakiness. And some of the, like, this is the way I teach it. It's just because it's like the natural kind of Valley Girl sounding voice, and they have like a lot of creakiness. Like, I hate you. It's like the entire sentence. Like the entire sentence, they're like, I despise you.
I feel like I need more water.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Hydration is key with this voice. Hydration is so key. Because eventually, also, like when you're talking so much, you're also like
It's gonna wear out your like vocal cords and stuff.
oh yeah, that's why singers are like have literally like a couple water bottles on stage with them, because they're like belting a lot more. And so this one, it takes a lot more head voice, and it's using a lot more just energy in general, because talking like this is natural, but if you're trying to access that different impression, then you're gonna need a lot more kind of moisture on your
Yeah.
Let's try to go back to breathiness. So breathiness, I think, is going to be the key here, because the fact that, again, you're going to be going deeper instead of higher. So instead of going
Way up here with everything that you're saying.
you're going to be going
Down me here. And it's a lot easier and it's not too difficult.
like, what's a vowel calm that you would usually say?
Like one's backside, like flood CT real quick. I don't know.
There you go.
Flooding CT.
You already have that natural, smooth, like kind of feminine accent. So now it's just about adding a little bit more pitch to it. So you're like, okay, they're flooding backside. Cool. And then,
Okay, they're flooding backside.
and then bring it up a little bit more. So it's a little bit
A
more
little bit
into like the
more.
nasal. Like nasal.
Oh,
way up here.
nasal. Nasal.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah, you're good.
Okay, I think that's up there.
Uh-huh. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to be like, okay, they're flooding backside.
Okay, they're flooding backside.
That's good. That's good. You're getting there. So this is just going to take some practice. So right now
Yeah.
we're just getting used to that kind of vocal formality. And then once we kind of get a hold of that, then we can kind of move forward with like practice and stuff like that. So they do a lot sharper whenever they speak for like that Valley Girl impression. So it's like, instead of like backside, try to do backside.
Backside.
Like you're like,
Oh my god, they're flooding backside.
that type of deal. So it's a little bit sharper,
Okay.
but don't try to extend your voice a lot more, because it'll pull out more of a deeper tone. So like they're flooding backside, like that type of deal. Don't do that. Try to bring it like backside. They're trying to bring it up more at the very end of the sentence. And it also helps if you add like a vocal fry. So I have like a natural vocal fry, so it's a lot easier for me. But what I'm going to try to teach you is the kind of the vocal fry. So I go immediately to the grudge because that's like the easiest example of it. So it's like the type of deal. Just try doing that, but you're just talking like this the whole time.
Wait, no, I can't do fry so hard. I feel like I have to get super deep to be able to do that though.
So try opening up your mouth a lot more when you're doing the initial impression. There you go. And now when you're doing that, like you can, even if it isn't natural for your face to move that way whenever you talk, like I am right here. Like the main thing that is we're trying to get a hold of that kind of vocal fry.
I'm right here.
There you go.
I sound like a frog.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of things you pick up on when you're doing voice impressions. If you listen to my natural voice, I have like kind of a natural vocal fry whenever I talk. So like, way cool, fantastic. And then when I switch to my girl voice,
Cool. Like, I am way up here with
Yeah,
everything.
no, I hear it. I can. Okay.
so
I see
you
it.
can hear as part of my natural voice in that girl voice. So you have that natural smooth tone. It's just about bringing it up slightly, and then it's going to sound a lot more feminine. And so with the vocal fry, and it's also part of the accent. So you have a nice tone already. I think what you just not gonna need to work on is kind of extending your vocal range, and then the vocal fry. So just imagine like the grudge, even if it's like overdone for like a certain degree, it's better than like trying to attempt it over and over and over, and it sounds kind of weird. So like over exaggerated at the very start. Like when I first started doing the girl voice impression, I was super high pitched. And so for this vocal fry, I have a natural one, but for this you're gonna have to over exaggerate it. So like for this, like, oh my god, you're such a whore, like that type of deal. And I have a lot of fun with it. Like I feel like you can do breathiness. You have the feminine accent down. I think it just comes down to like just the slight tone difference and the slight accent difference. So I recommend this homework to everyone. Watch Mean Girls, the original. Don't watch the new one. So yeah, main thing is extending vocal range slightly. So that's the main thing you're gonna work on. I don't care about really anything else besides I feel like the vocal fry and like just a slight adjustments to the kind of the sentences that you speak is going to help a long way, and it just takes practice. First question is, what were your main helping points for learning the girl voice? So like what was like the biggest factors in helping you kind of improve on it?
Unironically, like doing the warm-ups and like the stretches help a lot. I feel like I did notice a little bit of a difference. Like everything felt smoother. Like the process of it was smoother once you did that. And like for sure hydration is very important.
100%.
Personally, I think I struggle so much with vocal fry still, and maybe like a little bit higher pitch. Overall, I think everything that you did recommend / like gave, like even like the videos, I don't know if you plan on linking those like in your video, but those do help as well.
Okay.
And I think they help. Singing's good.
Yeah, the singing part just makes it a little bit fun. And then what were the hardest things to work on? Like what were the things that you were just
Vocal fry.
Yeah.
Yes, that is so difficult.
I can imagine. And then would you say like the breathiness in the voice helped?
Oh yeah. Like breathy, I don't really like doing it too often, like personally whenever I talk to people because I feel like it comes off a lot more you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it does definitely like I think anyone almost any like voice can have a little bit more breathiness and it just seems a little more fun. Like
Oh, yeah. Is there anything that you wanted to say to people watching that might encourage them or just something that might help them out?
you should just go for it. Like it might take time and it might seem like scary, but if you just do it even like 5 to 30 minutes a day, like to initial, not even, like just start it off, eventually it'll just get better, right? Like you don't even have to like have a whole time commitment to it. Just do it
100%.
whenever you can.
100%. I agree with that. Finally, I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this video. And I know I'm taking time in your day, and I know that you're very busy, along with the other people that were part of this. So, if there's anything that you would like to shout out, one of your socials or something like that.
My at is Milinava, but it's MILIN4VA on Twitter and or x.com now, I guess.
What is your name and pronouns?
Hello, I am Papa Rusty. I am he, him.
Nice. Okay. And then tell me a little bit about yourself.
I don't know really what to say. I'm 22. I live in Canada. I am trying to become a content creator, but
Nice.
content is hard, especially with a full-time job on the side.
And then what's your reason for wanting to learn the voice?
I recently got into voice acting, so I'd love to learn some new voices, and this is one that I've been struggling with, so...
Nice. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So, is it okay if I call you Rusty or Papa Rusty, or which one would you rather me call you?
Call me whatever you're most comfortable with calling me. I'm fine with
Alright.
whatever.
All right, let's get into it. Main thing is what I started learning when I first started learning the voice is that you need to somehow enter that impression. So whenever I was first learning the impression, I was channeling what it would sound like. So whenever you're speaking from your head voice, I usually tilt my head up a little bit. So when you look at like really earlier videos of mine, you'll notice that my head tilts up a lot more. So your chin is sticking out a lot more. I usually smile. So that usually helps me. That's just a tip of mine. That is what I'll say for that as far as getting into that range. Yeah, okay, here we go. So the first one is the breathy impression. So the first one is like made for, I think is for like deeper voiced people. So I think you could do pretty well with this. It's the easier one in my personal opinion. The breathy one is basically, imagine like a really seductive sounding voice. It's gonna be a little
Oh,
embarrassing to
God.
do. You're gonna be talking a lot more with your breath. Like pretend like you're Deku from My Hero. So it's like way down here, cool, fantastic. Like you're talking down there with your breath, but instead this time you're talking slower. So it's like, way down here. I know it's embarrassing. I'm not gonna judge you at all. I promise.
I just need to exhale more when talking.
Yeah, essentially, you're exhaling a lot more.
What's going on?
There you go. It actually already sounds pretty good. So you're accessing that. Notice how you're extending your words too, and that's what you're doing with that breathy kind of voice. A lot of people that can't reach that high note like to go down here because it sounds sexier as well as a lot more easy to access, and you can do it more often. So the next thing is trying to learn that Valley Girl type of accent. So can you do like a Valley Girl thing? So for example, oh my God, so me and Brian went to the store the other day. It was fantastic. Can you try doing that?
I gotta get a good one in my mind.
Okay, just try it. Like it could be as corny as you want.
Oh my God. So the other day, me and Brian went shopping. You would not believe what he said to me.
Beautiful. Okay, so you got the idea down. So you got that like kind of stretching, like you won't believe, like that's like the whole idea that we're going for. You're stretching out those words. You're emphasizing the words that you want those people to hear. Like he's so stupid. Like, you know what I mean? So there's extending those type of words. So that's the accent. So we're gonna combine the accent with the breathiness now. And so when you mix it together, like it's way down here and it's really smooth. Can you try combining those two together?
Oh my God.
Try accessing that head voice, but mixing in the breathiness. So don't even focus on the female accent now. Try to mix the higher pitch and like the breathiness. So it's like,
Way up here. Cool.
Hello, what's going on today? How's
So
it going, everybody?
so you're already throwing in that higher pitch. So with the breathiness voice, you want to kind of bring it down. So the main thing on the breathy voice is getting that accent and the breathiness. Actually the higher pitch comes last. So try to talk like a Valley Girl, but a lot more breathy. Let's try that first.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Can't believe Ryan said that to you.
I need a little bit more breathy. So like way down here, like
You are so beautiful right now.
beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna throw in a little bit of the pitch. And I know I've done this a lot, so it's a little bit easier for me. But when you kind of tilt your voice up slightly, just try doing that. I want to see if I can get anywhere with that.
So like I start with a normal Valley Girl breathy and then I go up a little bit.
Imagine like you are the sexiest person on earth. So it's mixing the kind of deep and the closed of your back throat.
So whenever you're talking,
Like you're talking nasally too a little bit, maybe. So yeah, again, it's the accent. So it's like the,
oh my God, Brian, like you're so stupid.
and then you can mix in the breath.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
You're extending those words a little bit more. Then you mix up with the higher pitch a little bit more.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
I want to see if you can do that. So start with the feminine accent.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
I want a little bit more dynamic in that. So can you do like a,
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
there you go. Mix in that breathiness. So it's like,
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid. Am I losing it?
you towards the end there, you made it a little bit more masculine. So whenever Valley Girls specifically, whenever they end a sentence, you notice that there's a little bit of crackle in their voice. So for example,
Like, Brian, you're so stupid.
you know what I mean? So it's like, so what you're trying to mix in is that like kind of mask at the very end of the sentence.
So it's not stupid, it's stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Oh my God, Brian, you're so stupid.
you did the id. I went ad.
Ed,
Ed.
you're so stupid.
Ah.
Stupid.
Ah.
Ah.
There you go.
Stupid.
Stupid. You're so stupid.
You're so stupid.
That's better. That's better. You're getting there.
Feels so
It's weird. Yeah, it's a whole different like realm because you're accessing, because you're used to like the lower pitch voice, like the caster voice, like way down here, but you're trying to access the kind of the more higher pitched voices. So the main thing that you're trying to get from that is the fact that you're talking like almost out of your head sometimes, like out of your forehead. So try to access that kind of realm. So try doing like the highest possible voice. So the reason I bring up Mickey is because he speaks in a very higher tone.
Oh, how's it going, everybody?
There you go. So whenever you're peaking with the Mickey Mouse voice, you notice how you're speaking a lot more out of your head. You're not speaking out of your chest, you're speaking out of your head. So try to access that.
It's like, holy my God, I'm gonna speak out of here.
And then mix that with a little bit more breathiness.
It's like, oh my God.
So you're trying to access that head voice and then mix in the breathiness. Try doing that.
You're so weird.
That's good. So you notice how whenever you're speaking out of like more of your forehead. Whenever
You're so weird. Cool.
you're doing that. Try doing that again, but speaking in a different language, like not language, sentence.
You're so weird.
Can you say like,
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
that's good. You're accessing, so you're accessing that head voice a lot more. I think the breathiness is actually going to be more difficult for you because of the fact that you're trying to combine everything at once. Is there any like accent that you're really good at that you want to try?
I can do an okay British.
Just say like,
Hello, how are you today?
that's more Australian, but the point is, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say.
Hello. How's it going today?
There you go. So you're accessing that head voice a lot more. I noticed that you have a lot more breathiness when it comes to like accessing those higher points, which is why I think the breathiness would be good for you. The reason I put down impressions is because some people relate to voices more when they can do an impression of a character. For example, if they do like Christopher Walken, it's easier to relate to a different voice if you can translate from another voice. Have you ever seen the movie Forrest Gump?
I have.
Okay. Do you know Jenny?
Yes, I know her character. I can't remember her voice off the top of the head.
Run, Forrest, run!
So what we're gonna try to access is that vocal squeeze. What I want you to do is try to do like that kind of vibe. So I want you to try to yell as high pitch as you possibly can. Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run!
So you're getting, the feminine there. I can sense that you're getting the feminine and you're trying to mix it in there. Try to get the pitch in there though. That's like the main thing. If you can't access the pitch, then I'm gonna try a different thing.
Run, Forrest, run!
There you go. So you've gone over impressions. I think impressions are just a little bit too much. Let's try doing it like the basic techniques again. So first, let's get the female accent. So like the feminine accent.
You're like literally my best friend.
There you go. You're gonna try to access that voice, but without opening up your throat. So try to close the back of your throat.
So you're real here, cool.
You're like literally my best friend.
There you go. So the main thing that I think you should work on throughout this week is trying to get that feminine accent down, because I feel like you can get the voice It's just certain words you have to twist so it's more like it. So another thing I think you should learn is the vocal, like kind of creakiness at the very end of those sentences. So just try saying, oh my God right now.
Like normally or with the voice?
Normally and then with the voice.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you're there. So now it's just about adding that vocal creak. So it's like that.
Oh my God.
You're getting there. So you're too.
God.
So you're too sharp at the start there. So it's like you're too. Oh my God. Like try doing that. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You're getting there. You're getting there. You're saying aw.
I'm over pronunciating my G's and I'm not doing the.
You can overpronounce the G. It comes down to getting that A. That's like it's the filler in between the start and the end.
Oh my God.
That's better. That's better. Okay. Now try to access that more, but with like a higher pitch now.
Oh my God.
So you're squeezing your voice, but you're not accessing that high, like the higher pitch.
Oh my God.
There you go. So now try making a little bit more breathy, like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
There you go. So it's about kind of, yeah, I think the main thing is learning about the accent and trying to figure out the difference between those letters. And then if you have any friends that could like kind of give you pieces of advice about like how it sounds, you have the accent. It's just about opening up that kind of technique. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's try doing this. Let's go to the breathiness again. So it's like, lay down here. Like like if I was to talk normally, like I don't know what to do. Like pretend like you just got punched in the gut type of deal, or like you're depressed.
I just don't know what to do anymore, man.
There you go. That's good. You're getting that squeeze out. But this time try to pause in between each word. It's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
I just don't know what to do anymore.
So you're speaking fast at the very end there.
Speeding up at the end.
That's like your natural speaking voice. You're trying to learn this impression, so don't worry, it takes time. So like, I don't know what to do anymore.
I don't know what to do anymore.
There you go. The only thing is that we need to really work on the pitch and stuff like that. Because so your voice is very naturally deep. I'd say it's even deeper than mine. You're doing good with like overpronunciation of words, and you're extending the sentences. You're doing good on trying to practice that stuff. I think with you, it's just going to come down to more trying to get that feminine accent down. So we have to work on the accent. Don't even worry about pitch right now. Let's try to get the accent down. So accent before pitch and everything. I think pitch should come last whenever you're learning this type of voice. So let's just try this. Hi, how are you? So you can do it kind of deeper. It just comes down to, notice how I'm like kind of saying a peak in the high, and then the how are is the bridge, and then the you is the final like kind of vocal fry at the very end. But you don't have to do the vocal fry. Just extend that word.
Hi, how are you?
There you go. Imagine hi, how are you in 3 different like parts. So it's its own sentence, and then stop it there. And then how are, that's its own kind of bridge. And then you is its final gap. So altogether it's hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
So imagine it in different parts. So same thing with like, that is so weird. Let's try that.
That is so weird.
Imagine SO as like SOH. Let's just try that.
So.
That is so weird.
No. So really overpronounce the weird. So
That is so weird.
That is so weird.
that is very quick. So
That is so.
and then weird.
Weird.
There you go. Perfect. So try that. So that is, so it's quick, that is. And then so weird.
That is so weird.
Perfect. That was fantastic. I love that. Next, we're going to really emphasize the breathiness in that. So you're really doing good with kind of understanding how to pronounce that stuff now. So now we're going to try to get into it. So with, we're going to do that as so weird line, but we're really going to make it a lot more breathy. Pretend like you're fucking like, you're trying to hit on someone essentially. Like you're trying to seduce them.
That is so weird.
There you go. Put a little more breath into it though. Try going it with a little bit more like breath.
That is so weird.
So for our next session going into that one, what I would say is literally listen to higher pitch songs. So the reason I mentioned Billie Eilish is because she goes from a super lower pitch into a super high pitch very quickly. So yeah, that's basically your homework. Another thing that I found helps is that if you have like a natural customer servicey voice, try to practice lines that you would say naturally in that voice. That's one thing that said helped them a lot, was just practicing like lines that would be useful on a day-to-day basis.
I didn't even think of that.
First of all, what were the most difficult things that you had to kind of overcome with trying to learn this voice?
I'd probably say the pitch, definitely. Having a deeper voice, the pitch is always going to be a hard thing for me to reach. And just having to restructure the way I talk in the accent.
Would you say the breathiness helped?
Oh yeah, the breathiness definitely helped. Once I got the breathiness down, everything kind of came easier.
What would you say are the things that were like helping you learn this voice? Like what things, like I mentioned the breathiness, but what other things helped you learn this type of voice?
Mean Girls helped me pick up the accent fairly quickly. I record all of our sessions as well, so I can go back and watch them as extra resources. And being able to go back and listen to your example of breathiness and then what you said sounded good.
Got you. So getting input that you think helped out a lot?
Getting input, having as many resources as possible.
If there's one thing that you could like say to everyone trying to learn the voice, what would it be?
Practice, practice, practice. It's not going to come to you overnight. You got to put in the work to get something like this. If you're having trouble hitting a pitch or holding like a voice crack, try waiting a bit. If you've just had a drink of water, if you just got out of the shower, let your vocal cords cool off a bit, dry off a little bit, because that's where the crackle really comes from. And
Hydration and not overdoing your voice is definitely important. What part of like the training do you think was the most helpful?
the lines and the resources you gave me week 1, because those were stuff that I continued to come back to throughout the entire process.
If you want to shout out anything, you can go ahead and do that now.
I stream on Twitch, Papa_Rusty_. Same on YouTube, same on Casting Call Club for voice auditions. If you're a caster looking for someone to do a voice for you.
And then is there any final words that you would like to say?
If you want to be able to do a voice like this, taking the first step is the hardest part. Practicing is the second hardest. Everything else is pretty simple from there. I believe in everybody trying to do this. You all got this.